Just
Perfect.
because you can build something does not mean that you should. This quote from John Reimer sums up the low-code movement. Now, what does this have to do with Salesforce, the king of customer relationship management software, you might ask? Well, I cannot spoil the fun, can I? What I mean is that if you take the patience to listen to our resource persons for a few minutes, you will get your answer. Hello, everyone. I'm Ravi Fugwa, lecturer at the University of Technology, Mauritius, and I am pleased to be your host for this online guest lecture series. Some ground rules for the event. Please remain muted until the end, when you will have the opportunity to ask questions to our resource persons. Please be aware that this event is being recorded, and the recording will be shared with you after the event. To talk on being part of the Salesforce economy, we have among us today two distinguished resource persons, namely Orla McMahon from Salesforce and Gilbert Gukhool from the partner in Mauritius, Nexavenu. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our resource persons. Orla, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ravi. Really appreciate that welcome, and I'm delighted to be speaking with you all today. Thank you all for joining. And for those of you who are about to join, or those of you who couldn't make it to the session, I'm pleased to share that we will be sharing the recording afterwards. So without further ado, I'm going to get things kicked off and welcome you to this presentation on Salesforce, why it matters, and preparing yourself for a top career in tech. So just before we begin, this is just our forward-looking statement, which basically entails that any purchasing decisions made should be based on the products and services currently available, something that we share in all of our presentations here at Salesforce. So I'd really like to begin by introducing all of our trailblazers on the call today. So you might be wondering, what do I mean by a trailblazer? So a trailblazer is someone who basically puts themselves out there, puts themselves forward. They're an innovator, a lifelong learner, and a person who builds a better world for others. So the Salesforce ecosystem is full of trailblazers. And I'm proud to be joined by Stephano and Gilbert today from Nexavenu. Unfortunately, Shiksha could not make it, but we might do a quick round of intros of our roles and also maybe where we're based. So I can begin. So as I mentioned, I'm based in Dublin and I work as a partner scale executive. So that means that I help to recruit and onboard new partners into our Salesforce ecosystem. So we'll get a bit more into what Salesforce really is in a few minutes, but just so you're aware, we do not have offices in many regions where we operate as Salesforce, as a company. So we rely on our partners, our tech partners, these IT consulting firms like Nexavenu, to deliver Salesforce in the regions where we're not currently available. And I help to recruit and onboard these partners in the Mediterranean, Middle East, African, and Israeli markets. So I'm going to hand things over to Stephano Rose, who is the founder and CEO of Nexavenu, just to do a quick introduction, and then I will take it from there. So Stephano, the floor is yours.
Sure, thanks, Orla. Hey guys, welcome to the session today. It's great to have you here. And actually it's quite special because I'm coming back again at the University of Technology. That's where it all started for me in my career in technology a few years back. And Ravi on the call was one of my lecturers. So 10 years forward, I would say. Yeah, nearly exactly 10 years forward. In 2022 now, I'm leading a team of 18 people, split into multiple countries. I'm based in Sydney, from where I run the Nexavenu business for Asia Pacific. Shiksha, sent on the call today, leads the business in Mauritius and the South African region. But yeah, we're very pleased to have you on board today, guys. So yeah.
Thanks so much, Stephano. And Gilbert, would you like to do a quick hello?
Yeah, hello guys. Yeah, I'm actually Salesforce developer at Nexavenu for the Mauritian branch. And yeah, that's a great adventure till now with Nexavenu. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. And you'll hear a bit more about Nexavenu later in the presentation, but just wanted to let the guys do a quick intro. But so I'll just get straight into things. So the agenda for our session today will be basically beginning with the kickoff and intros. So we just did the introductions. Then I will give you a kind of a Salesforce overview, some customer examples, and kind of exactly what is CRM, customer relationship management. And then we'll kind of go through what is the Salesforce opportunity, especially for you as students. So there is a huge opportunity which is going to be coming by 2026. I'll go into more detail later, but basically on a very high level, we're expecting 9.3 million jobs to be created in the Salesforce ecosystem globally by 2026. And then I'll give you some more kind of information about the career paths available to you, which are not just tech roles, but they are roles available in a wide variety of domains. Then I'll hand it back over to Nexavenu for their partner spotlight. And then we can go through how you can proceed from here to, integrate into the Salesforce ecosystem. And of course, then we can do a bit of a Q&A at the end. So I'm going to just quickly begin by giving you some background on myself so you can kind of understand how I came into the Salesforce ecosystem. So as I mentioned, I'm based in Ireland. I studied at the Dublin City University, DCU, and I studied global business with French. Then as part of my degree, so I did 2 years in DCU and 2 years in a French university, Neoma. So it's a double degree, what we call a dual degree. And as part of that degree, I was required to do an internship similar to yourselves, I imagine. And I did this internship with Salesforce in their Alliances and Channels department. So this was the department that works with the partners such as Nexavenu. And from there, then I built up kind of an interest in Salesforce, an interest in the CRM space, and also, of course, the tech industry. So I knew it was something I wanted to pursue. So then after, doing an internship with Salesforce, I went back to France then to complete my final year. So that was in between my third and fourth year that I did the internship. And when I went back to France, I did another internship with Salesforce, this time with the French Alliances and Channels team. And then after that, I became full-time as a partner advisor, working with our team to onboard and recruit new partners as I do now. And then finally, I graduated university, and then I became a partner scale executive working in the MMEA region, Middle East, Africa. So I just wanted to give you some background on myself so you know how I came into this role, and so that you can kind of know that it's not necessarily a tech background you need. So I had a background in business, and from there I was able to kind of expand into this role because there are so many opportunities within the Salesforce ecosystem. Something I just wanted you guys to be aware of. And, I really enjoyed this role because I get to, work with so many entrepreneurs, so many new tech partners who are innovative, they're interested in Salesforce, they're getting certified, and I will speak more about that in a minute. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop some into the chat or even, raise your hand if needed. But I think a good way to begin is to welcome you to Salesforce using this video. So this gives you kind of an overview of our kind of success from anywhere philosophy. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and play this for you.
Almost overnight, our world changed. And while we've all been working from home, something remarkable has happened. Maybe it was the sweatpants. Maybe it was the...
You're on mute.
Maybe it was all of it. Together, we created a new way to work. And we're never going back. Yeah, you're welcome. Now, everyone can be a trailblazer and succeed from anywhere. Because it's not about the time or the place. It's about succeeding together in the digital-first world. With more innovation, more ways to connect with customers, more working in ways that work for us.
He has to schedule another meeting.
inspire us, and bring us together. This is the magic of Salesforce. Success from anywhere.
Great. So as you can see there, I think something which was kind of it happened from the pandemic was that everyone had to adapt to the new circumstances of working from anywhere, as we're doing now. You know, we're using Zoom, working from our homes. And I think Salesforce was a pioneer in that sense that, you know, we developed a lot more of our solutions. There is a lot more, you know, digitalization of retail using Commerce Cloud and a lot more of our solutions. So I will, you know, be able to kind of go through what our product list is in a few minutes, but that's kind of just an overview of Salesforce as a pioneer for digitalization in the ever-changing world that we're living in today. So I'll just click onto the next slide, which is basically Salesforce is a CRM. So some of you, you know, I'm sure you are familiar with it with your background. Many of you have backgrounds in tech, but as Salesforce is a B2B business, so like business to business, it's not very common for everyone to know about Salesforce. You know, it's not a household name that is, you know, used by consumers themselves. And let alone some of you may not have heard of CRM, what CRM actually is, and that's okay. So we can go through it together. So what is Salesforce? It is basically a CRM, or a customer relationship management solution. And it really is about creating an overall image of the customer. And what we at Salesforce call the customer 360 platform, and a 360-degree view of a customer across a company. So the customer 360 vision is important in the connected world that we live in today, of course. So I'd also like to kind of share with you, what does a CRM and what does Salesforce actually do? So I have another video which kind of goes through a customer journey using Salesforce and using a CRM, and how it's customized very, very personally to the customer themselves. So I think it's easier just to show you the video so that you can kind of see what this customer journey entails.
What is CRM? Good question. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. It's technology that helps you keep track of everything about your customers and your potential customers so you can build great relationships with them. CRM used to be all about sales, but not anymore. CRM is for every department, sales, but also marketing, service, commerce, and IT too. A great CRM helps you do amazing things. It centralizes all your important customer information and company data in one place, so your teams have the right information to deliver the easy, connected experiences customers expect. Take Carol here. Carol owns a network of scooter dealerships. She has a lot of customers. We just met one, Celeste. Yesterday, Celeste configured the scooter of her dreams 43 times. And because Carol has CRM, her marketing team knew it, which is why Celeste just received an automated email that got her off her couch and into a dealership to take a test drive. When Celeste arrives, the scooter's already waiting for her, along with some accessories the sales team knows Celeste is gonna love. Next thing you know, Celeste is buying herself a scooter, a snazzy helmet, and some really nice accessories. But it's not just sales and marketing who know Celeste. Thanks to Carol's CRM, every department knows her because every team has one shared view of Celeste and all her information. Before she's even made it back to her couch, service has already sent her tips to help her care for her scooter. Marketing uses built-in AI to predict what Celeste likes and suggest more great additions. Commerce uses the same insights to create an entire storefront customized just for her. And IT builds apps that connect her to an entire community of fellow scooter lovers. Friendship and love follow. Brand love, that is. Along the way, Carol's CRM just keeps getting smarter and more helpful, serving up actionable analytics for everyone at Carol's dealership, which makes Carol's employees happier and helps them surprise and delight Celeste again and again. The right CRM helps businesses focus on customers and unites everyone with one shared goal. Make Celeste, or whoever your customer is, happy.
Great. So I hope that was helpful for you to kind of understand how Salesforce connects all departments of a company to come together and to share one clear view, the customer 360 view of the client themselves. And you can see how that was a very smooth customer experience for Celeste because of the way Salesforce is connected. But something I want to share with you, which is kind of an analogy to help you visualize what Salesforce really is to kind of think of a mobile phone, like a smartphone. So your phone is your Salesforce platform, basically. Think of it like that. And now think of a company. So this is their Salesforce platform. So just like a smartphone, Salesforce allows companies to customize their platform based on their individual needs. So it doesn't have to be like any other company's view of their clients. So you will customize your phone with the apps that you want. So just the way you'll have different apps to your parents' apps. In the same way, different companies will have different Salesforce solutions customized to their needs. And you can, download apps, you can get additional apps, or you can customize them. And when you first open your phone, of course, you change things around, you customize it for your own needs. And in the same way, you can think of Salesforce like a platform where you can download apps. So then if I take you to the customer 360 slide, I want you to think of maybe your favorite brand. What really makes them your favorite? It could be because of maybe next day delivery, or you can order a coffee on your phone without having to talk to anyone, perhaps. And the reasons they're your favorite is really because they make it customized to you most of the time. And you don't see it in person, but this customer experience from marketing, customer service, analytics, service, and all of these processes, most of them are usually run by Salesforce. And we call it a customer 360 because the customer is at the very center of everything we do, and every business and interaction, and with the platform itself across multiple touch points. So as you can see there, we have a wide array of different products from sales, service, marketing, commerce, analytics with using our customized app called Tableau, integration using another solution called MuleSoft, of course, our platform. But not only that, we also cater for specific industries. We cater for something what we call Health Cloud, which also helped hugely during the vaccine rollout. We also are focused on sustainability cloud, helping companies to decrease their carbon emissions. And also, we have our partner ecosystem who help to integrate and implement Salesforce, and a wide array of solutions which are currently being developed and constantly being upgraded. And we recently added Slack. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Slack, but it's basically helping companies to develop their own digital HQ, where it's a kind of like a messaging tool, and it's a lot more, everything is a lot more transparent and easy to integrate using Slack and all of our customer 360. So yeah, it's something that we're constantly developing so that a customer can have a complete 360 view of their organization. And something that's very interesting is that Salesforce is the platform that brings companies and customers together, of course. And we provide software used by all kinds of brands and companies. And you probably recognize some of the brands here, many of them being common household names like Amazon and popular favorites like Adidas, maybe McDonald's, while Salesforce might not have been a brand name you talk about regularly at the dinner table, perhaps, but your favorite brands' names are using Salesforce. So even if maybe in a couple of years you are working for one of the brands here, it's likely that you will come into contact with Salesforce. So even if Salesforce wasn't kind of the Salesforce ecosystem in general wasn't something you were considering, looking into for job opportunities, it's likely that if you are working for any of these brands, you will be using Salesforce or you will come into contact with it. So you can see there 97% of the Fortune 100 companies in the world use Salesforce, and this is growing rapidly. So you know, we're expanding, we're growing, and customer relationship management is a part of all large companies. So if you will be doing internships or even going for jobs in some of these large companies, it's likely you will be, as I said, using Salesforce. So yes, it's definitely something to consider as you are, you know, doing your job search, doing your kind of doing applications, to know about Salesforce at least, and to, you know, have some Salesforce background in CRM specifically. So now I'm coming on to the section of the presentation about, you know, the why learn Salesforce skills. What is the opportunity we can present you with? So why bother using Salesforce skills? So first of all, I just want to say that this is the reason you're all here today, because so many companies have Salesforce software. They need people who know how to use it. And that's why learning how to use the platform will give you an edge for Salesforce careers. So as you can see here, there is a huge opportunity. So you can see that 9.3 million new jobs and 1.6 trillion in new revenue will be created by 2026. And this effect is what we call the Salesforce economy. And the distinction is that the vast majority of the growth is not happening at Salesforce, the company, but in the Salesforce ecosystem. So with our partners, with our customers, anyone using Salesforce, a huge economy is being built with like across Salesforce, but not just with Salesforce, the company itself. So why are these numbers important to you? So the short answer is the jobs and job stability, because as you can see, this demand isn't going away anytime soon. It's actually growing exponentially. And that's why you need to be kind of familiar with it, and also just being kind of like able to kind of know where to go and to build up your skills in Salesforce. And all of these amazing opportunities within the Salesforce economy are being created alongside, as I mentioned, the partners and customers. So as you can see here, the Salesforce economy is rapidly growing as we scale on our path to 50 billion by 2025. So that's our growth trajectory. We want to reach a revenue of $50 billion US dollars globally by 2025 and experience a tremendous growth within our economy. The community of partners and trailblazers is key. So what makes us unique is that the vast majority, as I said, is happening in Salesforce, not only Salesforce the company, but also the employers, the employer ecosystem of partners, and of course, customers, creating millions of jobs in the Salesforce economy. And because so many companies are hiring for Salesforce skills, millions of trailblazers like you will skill up across all industries and job types. And we need these skills in order to, you know, fulfill our growth trajectory and our aims to reach these numbers. You know, we need people with the skills who can implement Salesforce, who can, you know, be in the Salesforce economy, who can, you know, take up marketing roles, HR roles, IT roles, who can do, you know, what the Salesforce economy is in need of. So it's hugely important that new students or like new job seekers coming into the Salesforce economy know how huge this growth is going to be. So now you can see the global impact of Salesforce, how big it is, and it's bigger than the company itself. You're probably wondering kind of like what jobs really exist within this growth trajectory, and like what actually is the opportunity for you guys. So as you can see here, there are a large array of different career paths available. So I'm going to share with you a link very quickly of the Trailhead Salesforce. It's basically kind of like the overview of the different careers available. So I'll just pop this into the chat so you can all have a look maybe in your own time. So now a lot of people assume that because Salesforce is a technology company and our partners are in the IT space, that these jobs will be technical in nature. But this isn't really the case. As you can see here, Salesforce skills aren't all about developing or coding. You can see that 9.3 million jobs from earlier span across roles technical and techno-functional, a mix of technical and functional roles. So I particularly want to highlight administrator, developer, business analyst, and consultant roles, as these are the most sought after entry-level Salesforce roles employers are looking for. And as I just want to mention as well, the salaries kind of range depending on your location. But we've heard countless stories of job seekers doubling or tripling their earning potential when they train with Salesforce. So once they have some Salesforce certifications, it really can add to their resume, of course, and it can add to their salary, of course, as well, and landing their first role in technology. So what types of employers, you're probably thinking, have these career opportunities available? So as you saw earlier, there's customers across the Fortune 100 companies, like, for example, Adidas and Coca-Cola. So they all need help using the Salesforce platform, basically, to connect with their end customers. And common positions at customers, but not limited to these, are in customer service, marketing, or working as an admin to give these services agents and marketers the right permissions and reports they need. And partners like Nexavenu have a different mission. They aren't necessarily looking for technical. They aren't necessarily looking for people to add users, as the customers do, but they're looking for people who have Salesforce certifications. So they work with our customers like Adidas and Coca-Cola and all of those who are using Salesforce to implement the Salesforce solutions and provide their services. So they would implement Salesforce software, set it up for different use cases and business personas, then teach them how to use the platform on their own common positions, such as the developers or consultants. And depending on the position, different certifications and skills are used. Regardless of the position, though, having these skills on your resume will give you that edge when it comes to the hiring process. So yeah, so it's kind of interesting how whether you're working with a customer or with a partner, Salesforce skills are very necessary. However, really, when you are looking into kind of becoming employed by one of our Salesforce partners, the certifications are really important. So you will hear more about that in a second. But I hope everything is clear so far. Like I said, any questions, just put them into the chat if needed, or you can wait till the end. So next slide is kind of giving you more information into the Salesforce ecosystem itself. So the Salesforce ecosystem is basically a network, not just of partners and customers, but the trailblazers. So as I mentioned, trailblazers are innovators. They are lifelong learners using our platform Trailhead, but the trailblazers who work at partners and customers to create an incredible impact for us. So partners and customers work side by side, and they help Salesforce deliver exceptional customer success, of course. They're an essential part of what we call the Salesforce Ohana. So Ohana basically means family, and that's what we kind of a word we use for the Salesforce ecosystem itself. And the ecosystem is a key growth driver of the Salesforce economy. So in fact, the Salesforce ecosystem in 2020 was more than 5 times larger than Salesforce itself. And it will grow to almost 6 times larger than Salesforce itself by 2026, which is quite incredible to think of how many people are using Salesforce, and also, getting certified using Trailhead, using our different customer solutions, but also our learning solutions, which I'll kind of show you in a second. But so now you've learned what Salesforce is and what kinds of customers are using the CRM, the Salesforce CRM, but what actually is a partner? I think you probably have an idea now, as I mentioned it a few times, but this is another analogy which kind of helps everyone to kind of fully understand what a Salesforce partner does. So to illustrate how it works, you can think of the relationship like building a home. When you purchase a home, Salesforce is like a basic house, but many homeowners want a home that is customized to their specific needs, of course. That's where a partner comes in. And they build out the home to meet those specifications. So they take a house to a home. So let's add Salesforce customers into the equation. So when a customer purchases Salesforce, they need to plug in or install the software. However, it's not an easy task, you know, there's a lot involved. So you can't just plug it in and just, you know, everything's perfect. It needs to be customized. So Salesforce customers rely on the Salesforce partners, who are our IT consulting firms across the globe. And I want to mention as well, because I work in the Mediterranean, Middle East, African regions, where we don't have as many offices. Salesforce are basically like our partners are like our Salesforce eyes and ears in these regions where we don't have offices, we don't have any employees based there. So without our partners, we would have basically no business there. And we are really grateful that we have such a great ecosystem of partners who help us to extend the Salesforce, you know, the impact of Salesforce across the globe. And of course, Salesforce is a technology platform and not a physical home, but I hope that this has been like, you know, it kind of makes sense that with Salesforce and a partner, you get exactly what you're looking for, which is a successful Salesforce implementation at the customer site. So the key takeaway here is that Salesforce and our partners work closely, and Salesforce can't support their customers without our partners. So let's tie everything together and take it to the next slide. So when we tie it all together, we've kind of learned that Salesforce provides software to help companies manage their customer relationships and solve business problems. Customers who use Salesforce can be any size in any industry. There's large companies using it, like the ones we saw on the slide. Also want to mention small companies also use Salesforce. So we have small, medium-sized businesses, huge, you know, markets that are really like that we focus on, which is what we call the ESMB, emerging small and medium businesses. So it could be one user, could be 2 users, but it also could be thousands of users, depending on the customer size and needs. So it can extend from any type of business, any type of industry, of course. And customers who use Salesforce, like I mentioned, can be any type of customer, but this is referred to as implementing Salesforce technology. And there are as many as 10,000 implementations going on at any given time, which is quite incredible. So a common misconception is that you can only find jobs at Salesforce, the company. But there are thousands of other jobs in the Salesforce ecosystem. As you mentioned, the ecosystem is growing 5 times faster than Salesforce itself, and it'll soon reach 6 times faster. So really, as new students kind of coming into the Salesforce ecosystem potentially, definitely be aware of all the opportunities, not only with Salesforce, the company, but with our customers, our partners, and the ecosystem in general, where there are so many opportunities. So taking it forward, I just want to show you kind of, now that we know a bit, we know that this can feel a bit overwhelming with so much new information I've just shared with you. So it's a lot to take in just in one day, but let's take a step back and use real world examples as to how Salesforce is used. So partners, some of which you may be familiar with. So for example, our large partners would be the likes of Accenture, Deloitte, PwC. We call these global systems integrators, but we also work with smaller partners who also are kind of more like boutique consulting firms who can also drive very personalized customer success in our smaller companies. So their customers can range from public entities such as government departments to private companies, for example, I don't know, like Just Eat or anything, any kind of like public company, even the likes of Coca-Cola. So however, we are proud to have a wide ecosystem that includes large global corporations, but also small and scaling startups and boutique tech consultancies. So this gives you a perspective on how broad and rich the ecosystem truly is. And with our partners sharing core values such as equality and innovation with us, we're building an inclusive and responsible ecosystem that is fueling development on a global scale. So yeah, that's basically kind of an overview of the Salesforce economy, how it's integrated with our partners and our customers. And we are so proud that our values are mirrored in our partners. So and this is what makes our ecosystem truly unique. It's very, you know, it's like we like to call it the Ohana, the Salesforce family. And on this note, I think it's time for me to pass things over to Nexavenu for our partner spotlight. So I'm going to pass things back over to Stephano, and yeah, I'll let you take it from there.
Thanks a lot, Orla. Appreciate it. All right, let's talk a bit about Nexavenu and what we do. Yeah, maybe next slide, Orla, sorry, apologies. So, as mentioned, I'm a founder of Nexavenu. So we are a Salesforce partner that started around 2019. And myself, I used to be a UTM student. I graduated in 2012 in Mauritius before I moved out to Sydney in 2015. At that time, I was working with Accenture. So I spent quite a large amount of years in consulting, working with customers of different size, really, in Europe and in Australian and New Zealand region. So yeah, along the way, I had a time, quite a lot of time on planes back and forth between cities in Australia or between Australia and cities in New Zealand. So yeah, I've been 9+ years in the ecosystem now. The team at Nexavenu also have a few of past colleagues from Accenture. So Gilbert, who's on the call, is one of them. Shiksha, we all started our careers in the Salesforce ecosystem together in 2013. So long way back. Nexavenu's mission really is to help the African region underserved as a Salesforce partner, creating jobs in the African region while we pretty much serve Salesforce customers. I will talk a bit more about the different type of technologies or clouds that we work on a day-to-day at Nexavenu, and what which pretty much dictates our focus and our strategy as a Salesforce partner. And that's how we help Salesforce pretty much with some of the customers. Thanks a lot. Next one. So 3 key pillars of Nexavenu. I think it's when we think about any Salesforce partner and the way things are structured at a high level by the leadership team, these 3 things here pretty much form what we call a bit of a go-to-market strategy. I know it's a bit of a technical term, but to describe it in plain English is the way that a Salesforce partner and Salesforce are going to come together to be able to tackle problems and solve problems or pains for different type of customers, size and industries in some countries or in multiple countries. And that's what forms our, pretty much the pillars of Nexavenu. It's just to differentiate, it's not our culture. It's pretty much our pillars, 3 key things that are quite important for us to set up and put in place as a Salesforce partner that allow us pretty much to sustain the team, to grow the team in different regions. Pretty much have the same template that we use in Australia, New Zealand, and that we use around Mauritius to work with Mauritian customers, France, and South African ones. Industries, a couple of key industries that we focus on. You surely hear a lot about trying to make the world be net zero by 2050. We try to align ourselves with a lot of that, what we call energy transition. So working with customers that sit in utilities, which, when you compare them in Mauritius, there's not too many of them. So your, central electricity board, for example, or central water authority, they're like key examples of customers that we work with. Customers that are into power generation using solar and wind. So a lot of those businesses that manufacture or install solar panels and wind turbines, they are type of customers we work with as well. Manufacturing is another key industry. Think of manufacturing as customers that manufacture hardware as taps or metal windows or doors that they then sell and distribute to either smaller or big distribution channel on the market. Construction and engineering, that's another top industry we work with as well. And the last one is transportation logistics. Maybe think about it as your FedEx of the world. Obviously, we potentially not work with FedEx, but this is one example. Our secondary industry where we put a lot of focus is for fin space, which is your financial services. Financial services, think about it as banks, insurance firms, wealth management firms, investment firms, and all of that. So why Nexavenu? How we position ourselves generally when we work with the sales teams and Orla's team in the channel alliances at Salesforce is we pride ourselves about our domain expertise in our primary industries and also around what we call field service and contact service center management, right? Which is pretty much, think about it this way. You have a business that send out technician to repair or fix stuff or install your internet connection. So it's all those processes that start from the moment you walk in the shop or you're going online to book a service and say, I want a new internet connection, and everything that happens there from the moment you receive a phone call to solve your issue with your current connection, track that down to someone comes to repair it at your door, fix the problem in a very digital way, which means that with less paperwork, or I would say zero paperwork, it's pretty much a seamless experience that happens with just a few clicks. From your perspective as a customer, and also from the perspective of a salesperson at that company or a field technician. So we work a lot along the way with a lot of engineering companies. So some key members who used to be part of those large customers we'll work with today and be part of, like, you know, there were previous engineers and there were previous people working in insurance firms and are now consultant. So they've been like cross-skilled to be consultant and work at Nexavenu, which pretty much is a great benefit to the Nexavenu team, because as Orla mentioned earlier, you don't necessarily need to be in the tech background to jump on a role and be a consultant today, and vice versa. You don't need to be, you know, you don't need to jump literally from tech to be in tech. You can jump from tech and work in sales, for example, today. So, and some of the focus clouds that we work on and deliver on for some of our customers, I'll put those little icons there, but let me talk about it. We have Sales Cloud that Orla mentioned earlier, which pretty much, think about it this way, is everything that allows you to run your CRM. So every instance of Salesforce would basically have a bit of Sales Cloud in the background that allows you to manage your customers and the contacts, prepare quotes for your customers and send them out. But little heart that you see there just down it is called Service Cloud. It allows you, for example, to do issue tracking and what we call case management and knowledge management on the system. The little free person that are next there is Experience Cloud. The little M logo is integration. So that's the large integration platform that is part of a Salesforce suite called MuleSoft that we work and deliver on with customers as well. And then there's Marketing Cloud, Net Zero Cloud / Sustainability Cloud, and there's Einstein Analytics, which is now called Tableau CRM. So that's the analytics part where, you know, if you're a big fan of data analytics, this is one of the trendiest platforms to work with at the moment. So how we make a difference, just to give you a couple of examples of customers we work with. I don't want you to be bogged down in details, guys, but some of a few customers we work with there that where we implement Salesforce include property and facility services management, like that one is inside outside. That's one of the customers we're implementing at the moment, Salesforce in Australia, and they're going live around end of this month to 15th of August, roughly. That's the time frame we're going live. And here is a lot of use case of people going out to maintain buildings, down to, you know, removing bins scheduling washing of floors and cleaning of windows and all of that being done smartly and scheduled smartly, knowing who's the best person to send where and at what time to deliver those type of services. So this is one place where all of the smarts of Salesforce field service is being put into practice. Another use case is in healthcare. Again, it uses a lot of field service solution from Salesforce, but use cases in the health sector. This is a use case where during COVID, that startup started business to start serving customers, I would say sending people out to do physiotherapy session and let's say provide you like massage, but pretty much repairing your body after you have some, bad injuries, for example. Right. So again, tapping into Salesforce sales service and field service and all the intelligence at the background of that to be able to schedule clinicians to go to aged care facilities or to those type of people to deliver that service. And the other two one, without getting bogged down too much in Portavac, that's a customer down in Melbourne, but does a lot of roof repairs and cleaning of roofs and roof restorations. Let's say if you have your roof damaged after a big hailstorm, or if you want your roof to be cleaned up because there's a lot of storms happening and dust storms and all of that. Again, heavy use case of field service. As you can hear, Nexavenu, we pride ourselves to be one of the service and field service cloud experts in the APAC region, and similar approach that we're having in the African region, where we're starting to ramp up and work with a lot of customers in that domain. Thanks, Orla. So what have we achieved in the last 2019, just to give you an idea? So we have now offices in Sydney and Auckland. We have one in Mauritius, led by Shiksha, and Gilbert is one of the consultants that work there. So there's another 40 members in the team in Mauritius. We are 17 in total, so split around Auckland, Sydney region, Melbourne, and Mauritius at the moment. We just started our US entity, and one of the co-directors in the US started 3 weeks ago. So that's looking promising for us. And sometime next year, we're going to have an office in the UK as well. So that's where we're heading. So we have 26 certifications on board total in background at the moment. There's a bit of tidy up to do. Technically, we have more people certified in the crew. And that ranges from marketing to field service and analytics. The average, I would say, experience of team members on the crew is sitting at 5 years plus. And to put it this way, there's nothing to be scared about that number. It's actually a great benefit. Let's say if you come in for an internship at Nexavenu, you're pretty much benefiting from a great load of experience from the team there to be your mentors and help you along the journey. And we have roughly, just to mention, we have roughly 30 customers that we work with, split around UK, France, South Africa, Mauritius, Australia, and New Zealand at the moment. So that's for on team, pretty much, just to give a bit of a, not everyone is on that on slide there. It's a bit of a null slide that I put there, but this is the team of Navy SEALs here in the background, split around the globe, that pretty much are trailblazers, delivering great value to customers on a day-to-day. And just a good segue now, I'll pass over to Gilbert to give you a bit of an idea of what happens in his day-to-day.
Yeah, thank you, Stephano. Yeah, to start my day, eventually I grab myself a cup of coffee to get through the day, and during the morning I do check my mails. Yeah, classic developer thing. Check my mails if ever the client do have some recommendations, stuff like that. And due to the fact that I do have meetings in the evening, since I'm working with French client mostly, I grab this time to do my Salesforce work, like coding, check the backlogs. If I'm working on agile technology methodology, check the user stories that are pending or that needs to be delivered, or the demo stuff that needs to be presented to the client. And then afterwards, jump in the daily scrum, daily meetings to sometimes deal about the impediments or the pain points that my teammates or I may be getting through. And afterwards, I start with my coding journey. And the most thing to do as a Salesforce developer is to get to my friend a Trailhead. Since I'm a Trailblazer, I need to go to Trailheads to keep in touch with all the 3 major releases actually that Salesforce do within the year, to get in touch with all the new things, all the deprecated things that Salesforce is actually getting through the platform. In order for me, since I'm a developer and also a consultant, I need to provide optimal solution to the client to get through and keep their business momentum around. I need to get myself educated about all the stuff that Salesforce is doing, and that's pretty much my journey. And also, if I do plan for certification, I take some personal time also to deal with the Trailblazer, the forums, and also with client teammates or to get through the certification. That's quite about a typical Salesforce developer journey. And I leave for to you, Orla, to go.
Thank you, Gilbert. That was great to hear. Thank you for that. And thanks, Stephano, for that overview of Nexavenu. And it's great to see the progress made by the team. The very, very rapid progress. And I know you're growing very quickly and expanding, so it's great. So as Gilbert mentioned, we have a platform called Trailhead. So this is kind of where I come in to kind of talk about how you can continue your journey, going from the information you've learned and about the Salesforce opportunities, and how you can actually now begin to skill up using this platform. So I have a video. I think I'm going to not play the video in the interest of time, because I know I want to leave time for questions, but maybe you can watch it back. It basically goes through how to use Trailhead, but I'll give you a quick overview. So basically, Trailhead is a completely free online learning platform. It's gamified. So I can show you my own Trailhead to show you how it actually works and how it's gamified. So basically the idea is to earn points and badges and to, reach the ranking of Rangers. So I have actually reached it. It means 100 badges and 50,000 points. And as you can see, Trailhead is basically will show up all of your in progress modules, all of recommended modules, and you can also earn a Salesforce credential through Trailhead. I will send you into the chat actually the link to Trailhead, and you can go onto this link, create a profile, and start learning as soon as you like. So I think it's something definitely to explore and to get familiar with, because there is so much value in doing this. Even just getting a couple of badges, a couple of super badges, maybe this would be really helpful to kind of see what it's like. As you can see there, the information you learn is bite-sized. It's not going to be overwhelming. And also you can do hands-on challenges. So you can learn how to implement Salesforce itself and to get a feel for that. And the best thing about it is it's completely free. You do not have to be a partner or a customer. Anyone from the public can sign up to Trailhead and start learning. I'll go through that. So exploring the platform, basically you can learn the business context behind the technology. You can also learn soft skills, so you can look for modules on different skills such as presenting, or you can look for skills on public speaking. There's so much content in Trailhead which isn't just to do with the hard skills. As I mentioned, you can learn by doing. There's a Trailhead playground where you can practice implementations. You can go into the developer orgs and learn how to kind of complete tasks. As well as that, you skill up using badges. and then you can take a credential. So that's kind of what the employers will be looking for. So if you have a Salesforce credential, you are highly employable. And then from there, once you are certified, you can connect using our Trailblazer community. We also have an initiative called the Talent Alliance. So this is basically a program which puts our partners and our basically any employers looking for Salesforce talent in contact with job seekers. So if you earn a credential or a super badge, you can join the Talent Alliance, and it's a great way to find Salesforce opportunities. And also we cater for people with less than 6 months work experience in Salesforce. So basically it won't be like you're joining a community of experienced Salesforce developers. Everyone is recently skilled in Salesforce, so everyone's on a level playing field. So it's definitely something to consider. So here is kind of an outline of your journey from here. So of course, you have now attended this Salesforce University session. So your next step I recommend is to sign up for Trailhead using the link I dropped into the chat. Then we will send you the basically a Salesforce student intro to Salesforce trail mix. And it's basically going to be your introduction to everything you need to know about Salesforce, and kind of like an overview of like basic skills and basic Salesforce information. So like you will be doing modules, and with these modules, you will then complete small quizzes. And once you complete those quizzes, you earn badges. And from there, you can build up your ranking on Trailhead. Then if you complete this, you can go on to complete any super badge. So I will show you what I mean by a super badge. If I'm in Trailhead and I go to credentials and I click super badges, you can see here that there are many different types of super badges. So for example, there's admin, developer, or consultant. And I recommend beginning with the admin because it's a good place to begin and to kind of get to know Salesforce. And then from there, you can build up those skills. It's also important to mention that the administrator certification is a prerequisite for the Sales Cloud Consultant Cert and Service Cloud Consultant, which are in high demand with our Salesforce employers. So I recommend starting by doing this admin superset, which would be 3 super badges. And then from there, you can do more and more supersets and take a Salesforce exam. So you can look into the certification section then. All the roles will be available here. So definitely something to explore. And, you know, we can send you all a follow-up with more information on this afterwards. But finally, I want to share that Nexavenu have kindly shared with me that they have at least 2 internship roles available beginning from August 2022. And I know you guys are all looking for internships, so it's definitely something to consider. And to if you are able to start using Trailhead, skill up, and earn these super badges, you have a very strong chance of securing these internships. As we mentioned, if you complete the super badge and you join the network, you get an automatic interview for the internship at Nexavenu. So it's a great way to get an automatic interview just by completing a super badge. I will also mention that YouTube has some great resources for kind of giving you an overview on how to achieve those super badges if additional support is needed. I know there's a couple of YouTube videos that take it step by step, and then you can automatically get an interview. So it's a huge opportunity here. And then as I mentioned before, we have the Talent Alliance. So if you earn your first certification and join the Talent Alliance LinkedIn group, you can discover even more career opportunities for when you graduate. So huge opportunities there. So I think that's basically everything on my side. I know we are nearly at time now. I can stay another couple of minutes if you guys have questions. But I would like to pass it back over to Ravi Faguga. So thank you so much again for for the time you've given us today to present, and I hope it's been beneficial. So I'll hand it back over now.
Thank you very much for this very interesting lecture, all of you. We'll now open up the floor for questions. So audience, I will just ask you to type your questions in the chat, and our resource persons will try to attempt to provide some answers for you.